All right, babe.
Here we go again.
You know what time it is?
Podcast time.
It's time to catch up with Emily. We're gonna take a little step back to November.
Okay.
You have taken me to a handful of country concerts.
Yes.
Over the years. Mm-hmm. I figured it was time for some payback.
Yep.
We went and saw one of my favorite bands of all time, Under Oath. So I just wanted to get your thoughts and opinions on Under Oath.
So we went to the Salt Shed here in Chicago, and I didn't know that that is a big venue. That's a big venue, right?
So one of the things you said was, I've never gone to a concert in such a small venue, like right when we got there. And I was thinking, this is one of the bigger venues. Aside from some of the arena shows that I've been to, this is one of the bigger venues that I've seen live music in. Mm-hmm. And nice. Like, it's super nice. It's really nice. It's not that old. It's only a couple years old at this point, I think. But it was like the perfect venue for somebody my age, in my late 30s now. I know you like to call me an old man.
Oh, man.
But it's perfect. There's like bars on the side and whatnot. But anyway,
we're
getting off topic though. Yeah. What were your thoughts on the music on Under Oath?
I like the part of their songs when they're singing a little bit more rather than screaming at me, but I understand now why people like it. Yeah. I'm not saying it's for me, but I understand why people like it. And the energy at the show was, you don't get that at a country concert. You don't get that. I love my Taylor Swift experiences that I've had, but it's not like that. It's just different.
Very different. And one of the cooler things now, as a 38-year-old man and a father and stuff, was for one of the songs they brought fans on stage, and they looked for the youngest fans in the crowd and the oldest fan in the crowd. So it ended up being like this guy and his dad, who's like our dad's age, and then there was like literally a baby on stage with their parents. Seeing one of my favorite bands from when I was in my teenage years be like mature and enjoy themselves and have like, the importance of a family being on stage with them. I just thought that was really, really cool.
Plus, I got a glimpse back at like teenage Donnie, who I don't know.
Yeah.
And it was a good experience. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of my best friends from those teen years of my life, Leanne, came and saw them with us. So it was like a full circle moment for me. It's a band I've seen a handful of times, but I haven't seen them in probably, almost 15 years, right? I'm assuming, something like, maybe a little bit longer even. But the boys still got it. They're still killing it. I
can say, even though it's not my kind of music, I had a great time. I understand why people like it. Mm-hmm. So I'm not as hard on you now when you want to play music like that in the car.
Hard on me. Next thing I was going to ask you about, we're seeing a lot of visuals in the news about it. You've got the Los Angeles area fires is really interesting. That's why I know Huntington Beach is not affected by it, but it's the only SoCal apparel that I have. I mean, talk about just incredible visuals, and then like, knowing what people are going through. It's insane. I know your cousin Stacy lives nearby out there. Like, what's she been saying about it?
For her, she's not directly impacted, which, is wonderful for her and her friends that are in that community. But it's definitely, it's a different way of living that we're not used to here in the Midwest, right? So at any moment's notice, especially when the weather is this dry, when we have those Santa Ana winds, when they're that strong, at any given moment, even a spark can cause a wildfire. So unfortunately, people are living with that fear of just in a moment's notice that they'd have to gather their things and leave. Just an awful, awful thing unfolding. And, spinning, kind of like pivoting off of this, but still keeping it in mind, I want to talk a little bit about AI videos. So right before this podcast, I ran up to Donnie. I was like, oh my gosh, look at this video. It's so sad. These firefighters, they're saving these like wild animals, feeding them water. Like these animals just want help. And Donnie pointed out to me that it was completely fake. So you've got these, people that are using AI to create these videos, which really overshadow, I think, the good work that is being done, because then you don't really know what to believe when you see these videos. So I had like a new kind of fear unlocked that even I'm being tricked by this stuff because I thought I had a pretty good eye for it.
I know. Well, and like the quality of the video is there, but it just didn't, there's that uncanny valley element to it where I see a video of a guy like caressing and comforting a mountain lion. And I'm like, there's no way that's happening. Because, I mean, a mountain lion would basically have to be like dying to let a human get that close to it unless it's trying to eat you.
Yeah.
But, it didn't look quite right. And I think we're at this day and age now where, like, if you see a video online, the first thing you have to do is be like, is that real?
Yeah. So my instinct, I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, this video is incredible. Like, look at these scenes and pictures. And it's one of those things that, if it looks too good to be true type thing, you always hear that, but it goes for videos as well. If the video looks like it's just this incredibly cinematic, picture perfect video, we're so used to seeing that in the movies, though, you kind of forget. Like your brain, you have to actively think about it in order to recognize it.
It's really interesting to see a computer probably spit that out in a matter of seconds. And it looks better than a lot of like big time movie graphics that people spent time, months, if not, more than a year working on for big special effects. Like, it's just quick. It's amazing how quickly they can pump out content like that now for clicks. New Year resolutions. Do you have any?
I do. And I think I might actually be able to stick to them. So I'm trying to do strength training multiple times a week. I want those biceps, but like cute ones, not overpowering. But when I'm giving the weather, I want you to be like, I think she lifts a little bit of weights, like 3-pounders, 5-pounders, That's what I want.
You just want them to think that.
I want people to think that I'm strong. I'm kidding. I want to actually be strong. Let's be healthy, all the things. But yes, if, at the end of the year, somebody tells me, hey, you look strong, you'd really make my year. And then my other one really is just growing my hair, which I know sounds silly because I don't really have to focus on that, but I do. I haven't had long hair, really long hair, that was actually mine since 2014, I think. But I hate the feeling of hair on my neck. Ugh. Like the amount of hairspray that I use so that hair does not touch my neck is a lot. So this is going to be a big feat for me. But those are my resolutions: strength training and trying to be a long-haired beauty by the end of the year.
Change who you are.
Yeah, change everything about me. That's just what I'm after this year.
Okay.
What about you?
I'm just trying to read books. I'm a notoriously bad reader. I mean, textbooks are hard for me to get into. So in school, I somehow managed to get by without really ever comprehending what I was reading in textbooks. And then like fiction books, same thing. I'd get to the bottom of the page and I would not recall a single thing that I just read. I would just be aware that I read a page of text and I got to the bottom and I had nothing to recall on. So I started reading nonfiction books just to start. And I think I actually like it.
So something that's interesting though, when he kept telling me I'm not good at reading, I never liked it. It was very much, I think, an attribute that you assigned to yourself because 15-year-old Donnie wasn't enjoying reading. But if you think back to
22-year-old Donnie wasn't enjoying reading.
Well, even then, for the most part, when you're younger, you're reading because somebody's telling you have to.
Absolutely.
And now you are able to be like, I'm interested in this content. The guy is always on Reddit, okay? He likes to read. You like to read.
I'm not on Reddit as much as you think I am. I'm on YouTube.
I say all that to say, I think it was just like an attribute that you assigned to yourself that you were not good at something, but your adult self needed to go out and do it and find something that you enjoy reading. So do you want to tell everybody how many books that we now have that are new books and what type of books they are?
Oh, they're all self-help books, except for one. What we probably have like 5 or 6 books in queue right now that are like about, the power dynamics or just ways to view the world and not be triggered.
Well, and not
take it personally.
Right. Not to take things personally, because it's really easy to think that because we're in our own mind, we have our own conscious, that the world is like revolving around us all of the time. Not even saying that that's what we think, but everybody thinks that. Like, you are your own main character.
Right.
So learning to think differently to where you're not the main character and life happens to you, life happens around you, and you're able to just sort of coexist with it makes for a more peaceful journey. And that's something that I've been working on for years. But it's really cool to watch you now reading these books and kind of getting up to speed with a lot of things that I've really had to work through through my therapy sessions and whatnot on how to get that mentality. But now we're really working toward it, at the same time, which is really neat. It's nice.
And let's be honest, you have been going to therapy, but I'm like on that journey with you.
Right.
I'm not discussing, the things in my head with a therapist, but I see the progress that you make. And then that helps me look at things that I deal with in a different perspective.
Well, and you've been able to see just how differently I can handle situations that used to kind of be able to send me over the edge or make me really angry. Now I'm just kind of like, well, that happened today, and it doesn't consume me most of the time. So we don't limit screen time until this week. So we've really tried something new, not having the TV on in the morning during the morning rush. And I think she's in a better mood. Like, I think that things are going better. But again, I don't even think that it's directly related to screens. I think it's just more about having that connection with her. And then she's feeling more fulfilled. We're feeling more fulfilled. I think that's more of what it is. Not so much just don't look at screens, because I'm looking at screens all day. I think that's just part of today's society. And I will say, she's way smarter than I was when I was 5 because of the content that she's watching. YouTube cranks out content like crazy for kids, and a lot of it's really educational. You
have been wearing quite the getup in the cold weather.
Oh, yes. I look fantastic, I will say myself.
You're staying warm.
I'm staying warm. I have the most ridiculous pair of overalls. They are really heavy fleece, but they're also lined. So you don't even really have to wear like a second layer of pants if you don't want to under that. Like they're not waterproof, but they're very, very warm. They're like windproof, but I look a little crazy walking down the streets of Chicago. Because everybody, for the most part, I feel like most people here, they dress really well. In this instance, I'm just dressed very warm. That's the best word for it.
You're dressing for utility, not for style.
I'm dressed like I'm about to go cut wood with my dad.
Yeah.
In the winter.
For sure.
To heat the house.
Yeah. It's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
But it does the job.
It does the job, and they're fantastic. And I wasn't cold. We had wind chills several degrees below zero. That's fine. In fact, I went for a longer walk than what I would have done. Yeah.
And we've been spoiled this year. It's just now getting cold.
And what is it? January?
Yeah, we're 16th. Halfway through January. We're just now getting those, teens and single digit temps in the forecast. So we can't complain about it.
It's not that bad.
The only thing you can do is dress to stay warm.
And wear really cool, stylish overalls.
I think that'll do it.
That's going to do it for us today.
All right.
That's all, folks.
We'll try to make these more frequent, but
I know, we've been
really busy. There. We had family come to town for the holidays.
We did. My whole family. Mom, dad, both brothers, their families. We had a siblings night out, which was fun as adults.
Yeah.
As responsible, We
went to Shed. It was too busy. But
we had 4 little children with us, trying to mangle 4 children that, in a crowd is just, it's a lot.
All right. Anyway.
All right.
That's a wrap on this one.
We're getting off topic.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Love you.
I love you too.